Adversaries come in many forms, but you will be victorious when you realize that worship is warfare.
Adversaries are necessary because without them, you never really discover your purpose.
We've accepted what somebody told us we were in our past. So our past is sabotaging our ability to hear instruction.
We are not much unlike a battery. The negative is the thing that's needed to produce the power.
I empowered you to overcome everything you've overcome up to this present moment. I fixed you for what's going to happen after this.
You were in the mind of God long before you were ever born.
You are not alone in your battle. God has your back because worship is warfare. Put these 4 messages in your arsenal today on CD or DVD. Equip yourself by visiting our website or by calling 1-800-591-8480.
It's now easier than ever to stay connected with David G. Evans and the Bethany Baptist Church family. Follow the ministry and rejoice in all that God is doing by following us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. On Facebook, you'll be up to date on the latest happenings. You can watch our Sunday services on Facebook Live, 8 and 11 a.m. Eastern.
Here comes the power. Hallelujah.
Words of wisdom and encouragement can be found on Twitter, and you'll get up-to-the-minute sermon points as they happen in our weekly worship services. Follow us on Instagram and be blessed by the inspirational and special moments that are highlighted each week, and meet the people who are the heart of our ministry. And if it's video you want, subscribe to the Bethany Baptist Church channel on YouTube. See the celebrations, the special events, and the many, many people who are helping to transform lives one at a time. Stay connected with David G. Evans on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, and become a member of our broadcast family today.
What if you could make one decision to unleash everything great in your life? Would you do it? Would you say yes? Aren't you tired of your relationships, your health, and so much more suffering because you lack the truth you need to change? The life you desire is within your reach. You can achieve all the success, happiness, and prosperity you deserve by simply learning the secrets that lead to real personal transformation. Change is hard, but not impossible. You just have to make one radical decision to get real. And there's no better authority on the real steps to change than David G. Evans.
Some men trust in chariots. Some men trust in horses. But we will trust in the Lord.
David G. Evans is leading the charge to bring you the power to change your life. He is committed to the mission of helping you transform and become a person of power, and it starts with his all-new system to change your situation. At the centerpiece of this life-altering collection is David Evans' groundbreaking training course. From ridiculous to radical to real, this means war. In this series, you will discover the steps to change. This series includes 2 powerful messages, each on winning the battle in your mind and cultivating a language of faith. That's 4 messages, 4 power-filled hours of material. If you want a better marriage, this series has the answers. If you want to achieve financial independence God's way, the secrets in this series will empower you to make it happen. If you want a life of power, anointing, and influence, this series will show you how to get it, and there's more. You're looking for serious, immediate results. So Bishop Evans will also include one of his best-selling messages called Weapon of Warfare. This classic teaching will build you up to start fighting in the spirit for what you deserve. This powerhouse collection, from ridiculous to radical to real, and Weapon of Warfare, will give you all the biblical strategies you need to change anything in your life. This collection will ship to you immediately with your gift today to David G. Evans Ministries. This ministry is revolutionizing the kingdom by empowering believers. Souls are being saved daily, and we need your help to grow this impact in a real way. Call now and sow your seed of just $35 for your transformation to help people around the world. Your $35 love gift goes straight to the front lines of ministry, providing help to those that need it most. Call now. Make the decision to get the power you need to change your life forever.
culture, events, and sports. Every Saturday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., you're joining us on the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America. You can give us a call toll-free from all over the world, 866-743-8267. That's 866-743-8267. 866-74-EVANS. Give us a call. We talk about those things which are relevant to your life, hopefully making an impact on your life. But always we have this conversation from a kingdom perspective, from a biblical perspective, that undergirds the wisdom of whatever we have a conversation that concerns you today. So give us a call and get involved in the conversation. We want you to tag some folk, share right now, whatever smart device you're watching us on, share with your friends, tag 4 or 5 people, and give them an invitation to come to this conversation, to join us in what we believe is the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America. Of course, joining us once again is our world-famous co-host, Reverend Nicholas Smith. He's here. How you doing? He's typing away. Something must be cooking and percolating.
Oh, no, I'm just getting logging on.
so we're glad to see you. All right, man. Looks like it's a good Saturday.
Yeah.
Pastor Phil. Phil was just telling me that we have a new frequency on Saturday.
Yes.
We've shifted from 88 something to 107.
107.5.
107.5 on the radio dial. 107.5. So if you're coming to drive in today at 11:30, 11:30 a.m. is when we start our drive-in worship service outdoors. Tune in on your FM radio 107.5.
Yep.
107.5, and you'll get clarity. We had some difficulty, some interference last week at the same signal we've been using for the last
Since last year.
Since last year.
Yep.
And all of a sudden it has become crowded. So 107.5 is the frequency on your radio to hear us in your automobile as we have our outdoor worship service today. It's been going very well.
Yeah.
People like the new format, the new setup.
Yeah.
I think it's fresh and it looks good. So
Yep.
looking forward to another day. We are in a series called The Power of Confession. If you have not heard any of this series yet, you need to get it because it's key to your life in the kingdom. All those scriptures calling those things which be not as though they were, and understanding what it's already done in the kingdom actually means to you, tying together those biblical principles that give you the authority to speak, to confess, and to decree, ultimately decree those things that are already finished in heaven. It's a very, very important, overlooked principle. We talk about the sizzle of those beliefs, but how they work we need to know so that when we speak, Jesus was not lying to us when he said you can have whatsoever you say, but you've got to understand what it is you're saying and how you're supposed to speak and decree things into your life. A lot going on as usual. I am distressed at the rate of COVID that is spreading across the country. I understand Delta's in every state now.
Yep.
The children are catching it at a rate of about 25%, and people are being hospitalized at an ever-increasing rate. I've been saying for a while I wanted to be wrong about this thing, but I'm glad we waited and just projected a possible date of September because it looks like we're about to hit another rough spot.
Yeah, they're calling it the vaccinated versus the unvaccinated pandemic. That's not saying that vaccinated people shouldn't take precaution. They're not saying that.
No.
But what they're saying is that the amount of people that aren't vaccinated are the majority ones hospitalized, dying, and having the worst of it. You have your ones who got both vaccines, and are positive still.
Which they have the problem of being infectious around those
of other people.
Of other people. So
and it's just they opened up too soon.
Absolutely.
The no
Push
mask
people back
thing,
in.
all that stuff.
All that stuff is just
It's same thing last year. It seemed like to me.
Yep.
The summertime's coming.
Yep.
Let's get this money.
Yep.
September probably.
Yep.
It's going to be another restrictions. Probably.
But I think they're going to have to do something in August because this thing is it's. I don't know why we thought that what was happening in India was not going to happen here. This thing is causing people to lose their ability to walk, losing their sight. It's attacking the heart like the other did, but more severely. It's attacking lungs, but more severely. I mean, it's just and you've got a bunch of people running around who. But it makes sense to me. If less than a third of the population, if you got 300 and some odd million people in the country, and less than 100 million are vaccinated, then that means 200 million are not and are open to infection, which means, viruses don't know anything about state lines or restrictions.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I was when I was out of town this week. I was out. I knew I was going to Trump country.
Yep.
Out in Western PA.
Okay.
And I said, these jokers ain't gonna have no masks on, nothing. They're walking around like everything's just fine and just.
Yeah, but it's like a boldness that borders on foolishness.
It is.
Okay.
It is. And it's unfortunate that people still don't. Our personal freedoms.
Yep.
Should not trump the best interests of other people.
Of the collective.
Yes.
But it does.
Yeah. To me, that actually reveals your freedom.
Absolutely.
Because you're able to control yourself and say, you know what, let's do what's best for everybody. Rather than,
But I think I mentioned a couple months ago that the marketing campaign for the vaccine was incorrect. It was aimed at the best of us.
Yeah.
Care for your other fellow citizens.
I don't care.
If they had said, take care of yourself, do this for yourself, we might have gotten a better response.
Absolutely.
Because this whole have compassion on your fellow man thing, it didn't work.
Americans already shown they don't care.
Yeah, it didn't work. It didn't work.
They don't care.
The concept of concern was revealed, and
absolutely,
and that's all it is a concept.
Yeah, concept. Yeah, I mean, it's. I get the fears of some people have with medicine,
absolutely,
and those things like that. But I was talking to somebody about this last night. They don't want to have the experimental vaccine.
Okay.
But my question is, do you want COVID experimenting on you?
Well,
so it's like I'm just saying
the arguments aren't balanced.
Like
I said last week, I think I would rather that people just say I'm afraid to get it.
Yeah.
They're coming up with all these inane reasons that make you look foolish.
Yep.
I can understand. Okay, I'm afraid to get it.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that, but not, we don't know what you put in it. You don't know what's in your bread.
Right. No, right.
You don't know what's in the marijuana you're smoking. You don't you don't know what's in a host of stuff that we're eating every day. As a matter of fact, just had this conversation recently. We eat stuff that we know is bad for us.
Yeah.
Bad for your heart, bad for your sugar levels. We consume it all the time.
Yeah. And no
we
problem.
know what's in that.
Yeah. It makes no sense. It's like
it's ridiculous.
I mean, even if people understood, the FDA allows like trace amounts of like sometimes some poisons or something like that, where it's not going to kill you in the short term. You're eating stuff that's polluted, like you said, all the time. Unless you grow your food naturally.
And talk about how good it is.
Yeah, and you don't know. I made this joke, but it's true though.
Yeah.
If you eat the McRib,
yeah,
don't complain about the vaccine. Because the McRib has a list of words you can't pronounce.
I don't even know why they call it rib.
It's not even real meat. It's you got eggs this and
come on,
Z
man.
this.
Come on, man.
You can't even pronounce the ingredients.
That's why they call it a Mac rib.
Like, come on, y'all.
They created it.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I think just admit that you're afraid of it.
Yeah.
And then perhaps you can overcome your fear. But these bogus false equivalency reasons. I mean, some of these same people I know get flu shots.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna tell me you know what's in a flu shot?
Right. Hello. You got the polio. That's not around anymore like that. Mumps.
Yeah.
When I had we had our kids, I had to get the whooping cough vaccine. I didn't ask what was in there.
No.
I just knew I didn't want my child.
I didn't want him getting whooping cough. That's right.
So I'm like, let me just get it, and
Yeah.
But people,
I don't understand. This is not like you may get a whooping cough and most likely you won't get critically ill.
Yeah.
You'll get through it.
Right.
I remember when I was a boy, my cousin had whooping cough, and we stayed in the same room a lot. At my grandma's and all that kind of stuff. And he had this weird cough, and I didn't know what it was. And then finally, my grandma, she identified that he had whooping cough.
Yeah.
Well, I wondered if I was going to catch it. I never did. We were sleeping in the same bed.
Yeah.
I never caught it. And he did, and he got through it. But we're talking now, ICU and cemetery.
Yeah.
That's the different alternative.
Yes.
So I don't know.
I mean, you get a headache.
And I know people who are immunocompromised that say they're not getting it.
Yeah, and like those rare cases of people who they recommend don't get it because of whatever, like you said, some compromise or some allergy or something. Like when I went, they told me my body reacts to bee stings differently.
Okay.
So I break out immediately.
So you have an allergy to it?
I have an allergy to it. So they were like, so when you they were quizzing me.
Yeah.
Could you breathe? Could you da-da-da-da-da-da? And I had to tell them ahead of time because they were about to tell me, don't get this thing.
Okay.
Because of that.
Okay.
So I understand those people who have those things, but to me, everybody surrounding that person should take care of themselves.
Yes.
So that individual won't have an issue.
Yes.
I mean, and I know folk who won't get the vaccine, even though they're surrounded by those people who have those issues.
Wow.
It's
not logical.
No.
So I think I've seen people from their 90s all the way down to their teens getting this thing.
Yeah.
And as it relates to the vaccine, and I don't know anyone yet that has had any more drastic impact or effect other than tired for a day or two and low fever, and then just as quickly as it came, it went.
Yeah.
Now, on the other hand, the Johnson thing, they're having a little controversy about that one. But, our recommendation was get what we got.
Yeah.
Get the Pfizer, get the Moderna.
Yep.
When we had the clinic here, it was only Moderna.
Yep.
Come and get it.
Yep.
Because we've had it all. We've had the shot already, so we understand that it works. But
and some people they found that some people got the Pfizer first.
Yeah.
And then the Moderna for the second shot.
Why?
I don't know why they did it, but they got two different ones. But they actually found out your immune system's actually stronger with having different ones.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. It would make it react differently.
Yeah. And those who had the Johnson & Johnson are recommending getting a
booster
from one of the other ones.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think that we're headed for another crisis. I've been wanting to be wrong about this because I want us to get back together as soon as possible, but we're headed for a crisis, and it looks like it's building.
Yep.
But I think it's just elementary. I don't think you have to be a scientist to see the pattern and recognize the pattern in that. Each time that we get a window and it looks like we're doing better, they let down the guard rather than keeping it consistent or raising it. And each time there's a reaction to it, and it costs people's lives.
Yeah. And we said it before. Those who are opening things up aren't participating in the open.
Isn't that amazing?
They're flying private, but they want you flying commercial.
Isn't that amazing?
I mean, it's different if it's just me, one other person, the pilot.
Yeah.
Versus being on a...
Yeah. And breathing the same air for 3-4 hours. And, and if you believe that the airlines spent several $1 million apiece on every plane to refit that ventilation system,
Man, please.
I got some land in a state I can't even think of to say.
Right.
Come on, man. It's like these buildings, man. Most people, their buildings were built not to recirculate the air constantly.
Yep.
So in order to do that, I mean, one of the pastors in Arizona started scamming people, talking about they had this system.
Oh yeah, I remember
when
that.
the president came out there, and a host of people got sick. But my thing, they said, it's going to purify the air every 10 minutes. Okay, come on now. First off, 10 minutes is plenty of time for COVID.
Right. Yeah. right.
Because it's airborne. I can't get that across to people. It's airborne. If you can, and I had somebody tell me the other day, people are going to the supermarket, people are going to Walmart, but they're not going to be able to say they caught it here.
Yeah.
That's the difference. You can say you caught it at Walmart.
Yeah.
You can say you caught it at your doctor's office, but you'll not be able to say that you caught it here.
Yep. Yeah.
Because one person is too much for us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, one person is too much for us.
And that whole, I don't buy that whole. I believe that church is a necessity. Absolutely, it's coming to the building is a necessity. So
Absolutely.
What I'm about to say does not deny that.
Yeah.
But in circumstantial times like this, right?
And this is unique.
This is unique.
Yeah.
we can do online,
Yeah.
and then have to go to the grocery store to buy food.
Mm-hmm.
We're not hanging out at the grocery store to talk,
No.
to worship
No.
for 2 hours.
And not worshiping like we worship.
Yeah, we're going there to get some food.
Which is we
And go
stir
home.
up air.
Thank you. I'm like, so it's not the same. People like, well, we made church a non-necessity.
No, it is absolutely essential.
It's absolutely essential. It's just
Absolutely.
we changed the way we did it.
That's right. To keep you alive.
To keep you alive. I mean, I don't go to Walmart to sit down for 2 hours to
Look.
sing and to
Look.
like,
Look. You order groceries now. Matter of fact, you can order from anybody now,
yeah.
and they'll deliver it. So you don't have to go to Walmart. Or they'll bring it out to your car. So why are you going inside if you don't have to?
People not thinking through.
It doesn't make sense to me. So anyway,
Yeah.
So President Biden signs an executive order to rein in big business and help the growth of smaller businesses. Now he used an executive order to do that. What's the rein in mean?
For instance, the net neutrality thing that was big when
Okay.
Obama put it in,
Okay.
and Trump overturned it.
Okay.
That was to break up. That was not allowing companies like Comcast, Verizon, all them to create monopolies
Okay.
on internet service and
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Trump overturned that, so a few companies can control everything.
I wonder how much stock he had in those companies.
Oh, probably has some stuff.
Okay, yeah.
And Biden was like, no, we got to go back to give these little guys a
chance.
to,
Yeah.
you know, the Republicans talk a lot about small business, but they sure do a whole lot to.
They are not supporters of small business because the small business individual is the middle income individual in the country. And I'm going to say something. I'm having a hard time balancing in my mind that the Republican Party was all in on $1.7 trillion worth of tax cuts, which only benefited 600 or 700 people in the country. So people don't understand, if they cut taxes by 1.7 trillion, the money has to come from somewhere. And what is the main cash register for the United States of America? Income tax. Income tax. That's the revenue stream for the United States of America. So they have to tax the folk that are not impacted by the tax cuts, which are middle and lower income people, because there's no new money.
Yep.
So I know some people who are Republicans who are middle to lower income who celebrated those tax cuts for the wealthy, not realizing or ignoring the fact that you're going to have to pay for those. The only other way they pay for them is cut programs that middle and lower income people benefit from.
Yep.
That's the only two sources.
Yeah.
Cut programs, increase taxes.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm like, when are y'all gonna learn? The Republican way is cut taxes, right? And then guess what they gotta do 4 to 8 years later? Raise taxes again.
Because it creates a deficit that is insurmountable.
I'm like, Reaganomics does not work long term.
Long term, it doesn't. All you're doing is saddling the next generation with your debt.
Yeah.
That if a president doesn't do anything about it coming in, so they force it. They look popular, and force the next president to make some tough decisions to bring the deficit back in line.
The first Bush, that's what happened to him. No, he ran on no new taxes.
That's right.
And then all of a sudden, the cash register was like, "Yo,"
It dried up.
and he was like, "All right, sorry, y'all,
We got
gotta raise taxes."
my bad.
Yeah, my bad. You know, this whole Reagan thing didn't really work out the way I thought it was going to.
Trickle down is I called it crap down.
Yeah.
It's by the time it reaches you, you don't notice.
You know business people more than I do. You've been upper executives
Okay.
around. I don't know why, and it's not all, so let me not blanket it.
Yeah.
I don't know why people buy the bill of goods that if we cut tax for the wealthy,
Yeah.
they'll create jobs, resources,
No.
and money for the regular
No,
people.
they bank that money.
Thank you. I'm like, come on, y'all.
Now. Come on now.
I read about one company. I
Yeah.
can't remember the names this morning. The minimum wage is supposed to be raised $4.
Okay.
They chose to close stores because they didn't want to pay their employees.
Absolutely.
And then gave their CEO and a couple of shareholders
Mega bonuses.
mega bonuses
Oh, yes, sir.
while closing stores down.
Yes, sir.
Don't tell me they're going to do the right thing with that
look.
money.
Walmart got got the assistance and closed 600 stores. 600.
Yep. American Airlines.
Yes, sir.
They're having issues with having to cancel flights because they don't have enough people to work the flights.
Yeah.
But you said it. As soon as that October date hit, after the PPP requirement was over, they laid all those people off.
Absolutely.
It just, I'm like,
Absolutely.
they're going to create jobs for us.
No, they're not.
No, they're not.
They're going to take them away. They're not. They've never been supporters of the working man. They're supporters of big business, not even small business.
Yep.
You know, so I don't know why the pattern hasn't been recognized after all these years.
Yeah. Just, I mean,
It's stupid.
yeah.
So, okay, DOJ suspends federal death penalty executions to review previous policies. I didn't find out until late into President Trump's administration that states had started taking the lids off of death penalty and started executing people wholesale.
Yeah. They shot up, especially his last year in office.
And the point that makes it look like law and order.
Yeah, law and order. We're going to deal with this. And
Well, here's my problem. All right, so you got a bunch of guys in jail, and you're a law and order person, but you got mayhem in the streets. So are we so single focused that we're looking at capital punishment and don't understand that that is not impacting the neighborhood violence?
Yep. Yeah.
I don't see where we establish these equivalencies. How's you killing 10 guys this month over here, changing the fact that some of our cities there's carnage going on.
Absolutely. Yep.
And then, I don't know why the liberals, they come up with some of the dumbest stuff I've ever heard. And how do you come with, we need to abolish the police force?
Yeah.
That's just stupid.
Yeah. Don't get rid of them. Reform.
Reform is what you should be doing.
Yeah.
Put some stuff in place so people won't get killed willy-nilly, and
Yeah.
Train the police officers past the academy, and
Yes.
Identify those that are, and I think they don't get paid enough.
Nah, they don't. They don't.
We have guys that are officers here.
Yeah.
We have guys, ladies and gentlemen, that are officers here. Ladies and gentlemen that are in the prison system as officers, and I don't think they pay them enough to run to the danger.
Yeah, no, that's not something I could do.
And I think what happens is you may get some people who shy away from that, who are interested in that, because they can't support their families with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. Retrain them, pay them more.
I think the best and the finest ought to be in the police force.
I think so too.
Just like I think the best and the finest ought to be in the armed forces.
I totally agree.
But you got to attract them.
Yeah.
But they need psychiatrists, they need psychologists, they need all these other things that go along with not just hostage negotiators and SWAT teams.
Yep. Yeah. They need to go back to community policing.
Absolutely.
In the sense of the people in the community are the police officers.
Okay.
Yeah. Driving around, getting to know the people.
Yeah.
It makes it easier to do that. But I remember back a few years ago in Philly. But this is not new. They caught like 8 cops that were helping the West Philly kids sell drugs and stuff.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and the drug dealers had to pay the cops to keep them off their back, just to kind of keep.
That's what you do. Yeah. You find some dirty cops, you pay them.
Yeah, and we know that's not. And that was across the array of colors. Some black, some white, some
all kinds.
It was all kinds.
Yeah, proportion to the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, has to be some reform there.
Well, I think that there needs to be reform from top to bottom.
Yeah.
And the reform needs to be in policing, how the job is done.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you're taking them off the street. They actually need to hire more. So it's when you talk about reform, you're talking about increasing the capability of the police, increasing the impact of the police.
Yeah.
And when I say the police, I mean from in every community situation, what the culture is demanding at the time.
Yep.
That whole piece that, what's that alphabet lady, ROC?
Yeah. AOC?
AOC.
Yeah.
Okay. that stuff. We need to just abolish this. That's just dumb stuff.
It is, and I don't care.
And they should. The Democrats should have never let that messaging hit the street.
Yeah.
Because it made them look stupid.
Yeah. You knew what Obama said. Don't use the word defund the police. Don't.
If anything, they need more funds.
Right. Call it what it is. Just when he said, if you want to use the money in a more optimal way, call it that.
Call it that.
Don't say defund.
Because it's number one, it sends the wrong message.
Yeah,
But they were acting like they were serious with this thing. But I find a lot of liberals say a lot of things and do not think of the consequences of their words.
They don't.
Because they're just trying to get a group of people fired up that are not really engaged in the process.
Absolutely. And I don't care if the police department was built on racism.
Yeah.
And it was founded on racism.
On those principles, yeah.
But at the end of the day, whether you live in the hood, you live in the country, live whatever, if somebody breaking in your house, you're going to call the police.
Absolutely.
And you're going to want somebody there.
You need somebody there quickly
to come.
Now they're making decisions in most local police departments, and we're going to go to our phones. Tom from Florida is on. They're not coming for certain things. So it used to be if you had a car accident, you could guarantee somebody's going to be there. But not quickly now.
Yeah.
Somebody broke into your house or snatched your pocketbook, and they were gone. They're not coming quickly.
Yeah.
So because they're spread too thin now.
Yeah.
So they're too busy taking care of homicides to come investigate your cats up the tree.
Yeah. It happened to me in Dallas. Somebody rear-ended me on the highway. Okay. We called the police, and they said, well, we don't come out. You just got to exchange information, and that's it. I'm like, what if the person just drove off?
You'd be in trouble.
That's a rent-a-car. That's not my car.
Yeah, you paying.
Yeah, I'm paying for it. But they're like, no, we don't come out.
Yeah, look, it's happening all over the country because they just don't have enough manpower.
Yep.
Well, let's go to Tom. 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. This is On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America, live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. You can call us toll-free right now, 866-743-8267. Let's go to Tom from Florida. Hey, Tom, how you doing, man?
Good morning. How you guys doing this morning?
Man, we better now that we're hearing from you. What's going on down in Florida? Give us the 411 on Florida this morning.
I was going to bring something else up, but I'm going to give you the 411 on Florida.
Okay.
Governor DeSantis signed into law a provision that made it a felony to block roadways last year because of the Black Lives Matter protests. Well, people let it go this past week and figured that they'll let it go for a couple days before they bring it up. That with the Cubans, they're blocking roads down here, and police are supporting it.
So it was. Are you implying, Tom, it was simply for Black Lives Matter? You wouldn't be implying that.
The congressman down here said he purposely didn't say anything for a day or two to see what would happen, and nothing.
Wow. Oh, that wasn't the provision where you could, if you felt threatened by the crowd blocking the road, you could run them over. That wasn't that provision, was it?
I actually went to the website. You could. There was a provision put in. If a protester was blocking you, you would not be prosecuted for running them over.
Yep.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. I was going to bring it up. Yeah, that happened. And I feel sorry for what's going on with the Cubans and what's going on. But it's not fair to have it, both ways. And they're shutting highways down here.
They're shutting the highways down and the police are supporting it?
Yeah. Oh, they have one of the major highways where one of the newscasters came on the news that he got in late because he had to wait 3 hours of traffic. They are really shutting the roads down, protesting down in Miami.
Now, what are they protesting exactly?
Oh, they're trying to get the remains of the Castro regime out.
Yeah.
Because they're protesting in Cuba really big right now.
Yeah.
And
the Castro, is it a cumulative effect, or did Castro do something recently that tipped him over the edge?
They're saying food, no vaccinations.
Normal stuff.
And the internet has helped out. That is a concerted effort throughout the whole country of protests going on in Cuba right now to overthrow them, and they're supporting in Miami. You know, I understand that.
Yeah.
But don't do it both ways. You can support this, but you can't support that.
And the police actually out there taking care of them and supporting them and everything.
I wouldn't say they're marching with them, but they're helping. They're not.
They're keeping them safe
from roadblocks.
They're keeping them safe. I was watching a different tape of January 6th the other day, and I was just simply amazed at how the description of that day. You know, people on a tour, patriotic people, you know, all that. And now they're starting to let out the tapes of the president's conversations with who's the vice president?
Pence.
Pence. I get these people out of my mind really quickly. Pence, and how, you know, he told Pence he didn't have the courage to do what he needed to do, and you know, and then I'm wondering why Pence is so stuck to him still.
Yep.
You know, it's just amazing to me how when the Black Lives Matter, for instance, protest was at the bottom of the stairs, they were arresting people and threatening to shoot them. And these people come in the place, pooping all over the building, urinating all over the building, throwing up all over the building, tearing up everything they can tear up, turning over furniture, breaking in offices, and they call it a tour.
And Bishop, have you seen General Mark Milley's book that came out this week, and he's on all the major programs?
I heard about it.
Yeah, he said they were all going to leave one by one if Trump tried to stage
not only that, he believed that they were going to overthrow the government, that there was a coup going to happen, that they had decided between himself and other top generals how to resign, but do it in such a way that the government could not be overthrown. He really said that.
But how would that be? How would resigning facilitate stopping the effort?
You'd have to see look at one of the programs where he talked about how they were going to. They had a plan.
I know they said if they tried it, there's no way it was going to succeed.
Yeah,
yeah,
because they wouldn't set the military.
They used
out
some
there.
colorful words to say that too.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, he also said, you know, the military, the FBI, and CIA were not going to go along with it, and we're the ones with the guns. He actually said that.
He said it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Whoa.
Yep.
So did he acknowledge at all the element within those organizations that were supportive of what was going on?
He said that at the top, Trump was trying to put his own people in. The Secretary of Defense resigned a couple of weeks before then.
Okay.
And Trump was trying to, he was trying to put his own loyalists in key positions, and they were blocking it every way in which they could.
What is the mystique of the presidency, particularly with this president, that the recognition that he would give by, I need you to be loyal to me, what is the mystique of the presidency that would cause an individual to compromise everything about themselves, just to be able to say, I'm the president's boy?
Yeah.
There's a mystique about it.
Yeah, there is. He feeds into that fear, anxiety, almost like he fills a hole in them.
Okay.
They feel some type of way, and he speaks to that.
Yeah. Scaramouche said something about that. Did you see that interview? Yeah.
And the people, like when I was riding out, I had to ride the Western PA. I went through Maryland and West Virginia to go up, and on the way back, I came through PA.
Okay.
The amount of Trump signs and flags on the way there,
yeah,
it didn't surprise me. But all those he won, fake news. I mean, these people got signs on the highways.
Really?
Yes. I'm like, I've never seen a group this delusional about one person.
Yeah.
But he speaks to that. Obama scared them so much.
Yeah.
That's really what it comes down to. If there was no Obama, there'd be no Trump.
No.
There
and Kevin McCarthy was at Bedminster yesterday.
Was he?
Yes. I mean, there's still.
What's he going to beg for now?
Who do you say?
Ted McCarthy was at Bedminster, where the president, he said, got too hot in Florida.
Okay. Oh, he came back. Okay.
He came back up here. Man, Tom, thanks for calling us, man. We're going to go to Danny.
Hey, take care.
Talk to you. Good morning, Danny. How you doing?
Good morning, Bishop. How you doing, Pastor Nick, staff? How's everyone
doing
today?
Good, man. What's on your mind this morning?
Oh, I just wanted to mention, things that are, happening, around in this area,
Okay.
and things that are going on, how, rules and regulations and laws that are put into place, but they're only applied to certain people.
Okay.
And it's so clear, it's crystal clear as to what's happening, and people that are in authority have not addressed the problem. They have not said a word.
So Dan, give us some insight. So is there a noticeable division among the residents of Florida that you can see kind of flowing from our former president's administration to your present governor's way of handling things? Has it caused, from the outside, it looks like the state should be really divided? Is there some indication that it is on the ground level down there?
It's what you had mentioned before, Bishop, and with the label that you tag it with.
Okay.
If a certain group is protesting peacefully, and they get a good number out,
yeah,
these are thugs.
Okay.
Okay, these are lawbreakers. These are former criminals.
Okay.
Labels like that. But if another group is doing something, these are very patriotic, they're loyal, freedom fighters, etc., etc.
Right.
Now, the other twist that they put to it is now Biden is not doing anything. What is he going to do? He should do this, he should do that.
What's he supposed to do about what?
Like the situation, whatever's going on that they're protesting for.
Okay.
Okay. Now, mind you, did this particular group vote for him? Did they support him?
Well, of course not.
Okay. And the next question
You're not supposed to bring that up. Don't you know that?
the people that they did vote into office that was in part of the previous administration who had 4 years to do something, what did they do?
Nothing, but they wouldn't criticize them.
That's my point.
It's like the evangelicals went silent for 4 years. I mean, just guys I know that were outspoken about everything, all of a sudden had nothing to say. I mean, just nothing. I couldn't believe it. Preachers went silent. How's that work?
Over a guy who, one of the most unlike Christ people I've seen.
Okay.
In President Trump. And people say, Jesus says you know a tree by a fruit that it bears.
Absolutely.
That's all I can go by.
Absolutely.
I'm not judging him. We go by fruit.
Right.
But their whole thing is he's bringing Christianity back, giving us our power back.
Power to do what?
But their power to be in control in their eyes and
Okay.
be themselves. I think
To discriminate?
to discriminate.
Okay.
But also at the same time, I think, y'all hear me out on this, the move to go further to the left, which I don't think is good, is producing a fear in the right to say, you know what,
Absolutely.
y'all going a little too far on some of this stuff.
There's no balance.
And instead of them seeking balance, they're seeking.
But
Yeah.
I gotta say this: we are no longer in an environment where balance is offered.
Yeah. No.
And I think that the Democrats need to stop playing wiffle ball and start playing hardball, because they're in a hardball game.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But they're stepping up to the plate with plastic bats and wiffle balls.
Yeah.
And it's not making sense to me.
Yeah.
It's not making sense. They go into an Uzi fight with a water gun, man. That doesn't make any sense to me. You know, these guys are not cooperating. They've said nationally on TV for the last 12 years, well, 20 years at this point, 8, 4, 12, now we're in the 15th to 16th year, or 13th year, that they are going to obstruct everything. They've said it publicly.
Yep.
So if you've thrown the gauntlet down that way, you have an obligation to respond in kind. Not, we're still trying to do something bipartisan. They don't want to do anything bipartisan.
No, they don't.
And you know what's really weird? It's not about the benefit to the people. I don't think they want this legacy tied to Biden.
Oh no, they don't. They don't care.
I don't think I think that helping all these people, which is why we're going to reshape these bills so it looks like it's our bill.
Yep.
but it's only going to benefit a certain amount of people. Since when is infrastructure in this country have nothing to do with the internet?
Yep.
It is all about infrastructure now.
Absolutely.
So for you to say, well, internet is not important. No, internet in certain neighborhoods around the country is not important.
Yep.
And something that has happened recently here in Florida, we saw a 40-year-old building that completely.
Yeah, man, I know.
Okay, now if that building is
tragic.
doing that particular situation, what about our streets, our highways, our bridges, our water systems, and things like that? You know,
Well, I kind of
what
think it
happens
should.
there?
You tell me if I'm wrong. I kind of think, especially where the swamps were, and that's much of Florida. I think there needs to be a revamping of the building codes. I think they need to start inspecting things en masse. They need to put some money in place so people can get out and start looking at these buildings in short order. Not okay, we're gonna have them all inspected in 20 years. No, you got too many people died in that building.
Exactly.
And it's important for me to understand and say there's no way that building should have been still in operation with as many faults as there were in it.
Yep.
And the point of it is that with that particular building, the way that you're building the buildings, we have construction being done at night, which doesn't make too much sense to me. Okay, I know that you're trying to say, well, we're trying to do it because of traffic, but when you're pouring concrete, that needs to be tested, and the drying time, the setting time that they have for it, personally, I don't think that is significant. It's just not enough time.
They do put them up kind of fast, don't they?
Exactly. And for that reason, now you're testing it after the fact. It's too late.
Yeah, and I just always believe that if you build something on water, that water's coming back in 10, 15, 20,
It's
30.
coming back. It's coming back.
And where you can't see in the foundations of the things is where the water starts to work first.
Which is another reason why in those outer islands and those barrier islands that they did not build tall structures to begin with.
There's a great biblical example that really shows the nature of a river.
Okay.
The Holy Spirit works in a way that if you allow it to flow, every river that flows slowly but surely alters the banks that it flows in between. It's almost imperceptible, but it's real and it happens over a period of time. The Holy Spirit works like that in people's lives.
Yeah.
Where it flows, it starts to change the landscape.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
So in the context of building on water, that water seeks a place to flow again, and it starts to change whatever you force down into it. So which is why they have to send divers down to check major bridges and those foundations a lot, because the water's steadily flowing, and just slowly but surely it starts to transform some stuff.
Yep.
I don't understand what,
It's crazy.
I think there's going to be a lot of buildings they find that people's relationships got them compromises in building codes, and they threw some of these buildings up because that was too many people dying, and bringing the building down. I heard all their reasons. The storm never hit. Bringing the building down is allowing them to get past all these people that are dead in that rubble.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And I just think it's more of our inhumanity.
Yep.
I don't know. Anyway, how's my sister doing, Dan?
Very good, and we're looking forward to the new series. I'm very, especially, I just can't wait, to hear what you have to say as to, asking and knowing how to ask and what have you to get that.
Yeah, that Saturday thing. That's what we're doing on Saturdays. It's working, man. It's working. Yeah. And we're getting ready to start the Angels thing soon, I think, in Chestnut Checkers, a couple weeks.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think August. Yeah.
Yeah, Angels is Chestnut Checkers this time. It's gonna be good, man.
Yeah.
Thank you, Danny. Give my sister my love.
All right, thank you, Bishop. Be
Talk
blessed.
to you soon.
See you, man.
Bye-bye.
All right.
866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. This is On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America Live. Call us right now. Have a conversation with us as we talk about faith and culture and religion and politics and sports and Did you watch any of the trials while it was on?
No, I mean not much. I usually watch
I'm still amazed at how saying we ought to stick to the rules as it relates to Sha'Carri Richardson brought so many protests that want the rules broken for her.
I know.
And I think what's happening, the number of people that have been eliminated during the trial period for the Olympics, I don't think people are aware of the list.
No.
Because a host of people got knocked off.
Absolutely.
For a variety of offenses.
Yeah. I'm telling you, most people didn't even know who Sha'Carri Richardson was until she won that race. I had no idea who she was. Most people didn't know. Unless you follow track like that, you probably know her. But I had no idea who she was.
Yeah, I have been watching it for a year and a half, maybe. Because I'm a LSU fan, track fan, because they come to the relays every year. Yeah. Of course, when we heard about her in high school, just like a lot of other ladies. Yeah. Like the young lady from Trenton, Thing Mo. Yeah. She's tearing up everything. So you hear about these kids, and okay, relays are coming. Yeah. And you'll get a chance to see all these children. And then relays didn't happen the year before last, and it didn't happen last year. So we missed the junior and senior high school classes from around the country of the top stars. So the relays usually keeps us right on top of that. Yeah. But I think you cannot say I need you to change the rules only because you got caught.
Yeah. My thing is like this. She admitted she's wrong.
Yeah.
She gave up. She didn't fight it.
Yeah.
And she left it alone.
Yes.
Y'all leave it alone too.
Yeah.
She ain't asking y'all to do this. She's chilling. I mean, I'm sure she feels bad,
she
but
she knows the rules.
Yeah.
You get tested. You're going to be tested. And the top stars are going to get tested more than the others.
Absolutely.
Especially if you're dominating in the way that she was.
Absolutely.
Which is why Serena Williams is tested more than any athlete in the world.
Yep.
In the world.
Yep.
They follow her to Paris.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Show up at her home in Paris.
Yeah.
Testing time.
Test out, right.
So when she said that on TV, I was like, wow.
Yeah. I don't think people think logically through to the conclusion of their thought. It's a lot of emotion.
No, yeah, that's all.
It doesn't.
I agree with you.
Go to,
It doesn't. It never gets to logic.
Yeah, and it's not about racism. It's not
or
because
balance
she's black.
Or reason.
Yeah, just like, come on, y'all.
Yeah, they ought to change the rules now that somebody got caught that we like.
Yeah, that we like.
No.
Because she wasn't black, they wouldn't be complaining.
She's young. Nope. But she had, the one time I heard her really sound lucid, she said, "I knew what I was doing. Decision I decided to make."
Yep.
And then she went to the whole, you can't tell me how to mourn. Nobody was doing that. And she said, I made the choice. I knew what I was doing. I knew what I was risking.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just, when I was chairing at Lincoln, we had a passionate debate in the boardroom one time about alcohol and drugs on campus. And Judge Ruth was one of those that said, they're 18, we don't need to say anything. They have a right to make their own decisions.
Right.
And I was like, I hear you, but we have to have a standard in place. Because if something happens and there's no standard in place, then we're going to be ruled as negligent.
Yep.
So that shut the meeting down at that point. We went on ahead and legislated, you got to be this age to do this and that age to do that. And not a month later, tragically, 4 or 5 of our kids, drunk, ran into a tree on campus.
Wow.
And the kids literally came outside and had to watch the car be on fire while the fire engines and all were coming.
Wow.
And the kids couldn't get out of the car.
Okay. Jeez.
And of course I didn't go back to the meeting and say I told you so, but the fact of the matter is the parents could not say
that the
school didn't have any kind of standard.
Yeah.
That we were just letting people do what they needed to do. And but sometimes liberal-minded people don't think past the impulse that goes along with their desire.
Absolutely.
You got to think through the thing.
Yeah.
To the possibilities.
Absolutely.
Idealists tend to do that.
Yeah.
and we just need to change this.
Yeah.
And not understanding the context.
Yeah, all the ramifications of.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are big on, well, because of this, we've been talking about before, changing the marijuana rules.
Yeah.
But again, even if America says weed is legal in every state, that's not going to change with the Olympics.
No, and it shouldn't.
It's not going to change it.
It shouldn't.
It's international.
I mean, we were minor athletes, and we had some success, and even back in my day, and I'm talking the '60s, you weren't allowed any alcohol or drugs during the season.
Yeah.
Most of us didn't, because we were triple sport people. We didn't drink or smoke at all, but you weren't allowed any intoxicants if you want to play varsity ball, or wrestling team, cross country, track. You weren't allowed any.
Yeah.
And you could be thrown off if the coach heard you were doing it. They weren't testing this. They'd walk up to you. You smell like liquor. You're off.
Right.
Thank you, Phil. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, it is what it is. And again, you can sympathize with her.
Sure.
Because all of us.
I don't like the fact that she threw away her opportunity.
Okay.
I understand she was emotionally motivated to do so.
Yeah.
But at the same time, she said very clearly, I knew what I was doing.
Yep.
I knew what the rules were.
Yeah.
This is the way I chose to deal with this.
Yeah.
And I knew it might mess up my opportunity.
Yep.
Okay.
I give it to her. She owned it. Just
but when you're young, maybe she was thinking, well, if they get me this time, I'll have another chance.
Yeah.
But the Bible lets us know tomorrow's not promised.
Yeah. You can sympathize, but still understand a lot of this.
Now, what I know about track is her season of dominance. You can never know when that's going to begin to transition. I remember Marion Jones and a couple other people. They had these seasons of dominance where they were absolutely dominant in track and field. But then when it started to change, that's when they started to supplement. Because at some point, your 19-year-old legs don't move as fast and as long as your 22-year-old legs. And that seems still like a young window.
Yeah.
But there's a change after you've been running and running and running.
Pounding that pavement. Yeah. Like basketball players with their knees after a while.
Rose.
Yep.
He's as tender as a potato chip now.
Yeah.
But that's all those years on concrete.
Yep. Yeah.
Some people it impacts that way, and some people it don't.
That's true. Like, I'm worried about Joel Embiid. I mean, I wonder how he's going to walk later on.
I think
his knees are already messed up already.
It's going to be a problem. Versus LeBron, who played most of his time on courts.
Yep.
In air conditioning.
Yeah.
Don't let me go there.
Yeah.
So he's not having the problems that other athletes have. He's showing wear and tear.
Yeah. But not like
growing area, maybe a little bit in the back, but not his knees breaking down.
And he takes care of himself. He spends a lot of money to take care of his body.
Well, you better. That's his tool.
Tom Brady does too.
It's their tool.
I mean, they spend millions of dollars a year taking care of that thing.
Because that'll help them make $400 or $500 million. It makes sense to me.
Yeah, me too.
It makes sense to me. Now, don't forget today. Now, 11:30. We want you to join us. We invite you to join us here on our campus for our drive-in worship service. Use station 107.5 FM. 107.5 FM. So we shifted the signal. Be very clear for you today. We ask you to join us tomorrow at 8 a.m. for the encounter worship here at Bethany. 9:45 to 10:45 is Engage Live, as our Engage Live team gets involved in talking to you, and we come up and do some live questions and answers concerning the worship, and then we're back at 11 a.m. of course. And at 6 o'clock in the evening is 10 times better. And we have our pre-discussion at 5:30, our post-discussion after the message is completed. If you need a prayer, send in a prayer request at social@go2bethany.com. That's social, the word social, go to the number 2bethany.com. Subscribe to David G. Evans 1 and BBC of NJ on YouTube, and you'll notice some format changes as you're looking for us there. And also subscribe to DGEMS and the OnPointe podcast platform. That's DGEMS and OnPointe, OnPointe podcast platforms. You'll enjoy the conversations. Looks like we got some good weather today, Pastor Nick.
Yeah.
They said it was going to rain, but looks like the Lord is delaying his hand once again.
Till like 6, 7 o'clock.
Oh,
tonight,
yeah, we're
so
good.
We're good.
Well, I think we're just about there. We're going to see you next time. As always, remember, faith acts like a thing is so, even when it's not so, that it might be so. God bless you. and see you next time on On Point.